So you go on Shark Tank, which just as the show title suggests, it is kind of a intimidating experience, and
Yes.
you don't often see a lot of kids on there. I mean, the adults look petrified, and you just look so smooth and natural with it. And Damon John decides to invest in your company, to invest $60,000. I believe that was the investment. So what did that mean for you in terms of boosting your confidence that here you have this very successful businessman who has decided to give you a $60,000 investment?
Well, I mean, you kind of said it. It boosted my confidence because it took a lot of confidence to get on in, I guess, in the Shark Tank in the first place. It was at first when the African American Chamber of Commerce reached out to us and said, would you be interested? And my parents were like, no, we've seen the sharks. They can be brutal. It doesn't matter if it's a kid. They can still be brutal. And they didn't want me to stop selling me in the bees or Be Sweet at the time just because I got no's from a shark. And after a little bit of convincing, my parents let me do the first audition. And it took a lot of building of confidence, like getting the pitching to family and friends, and then to people who we knew had businesses and getting feedback on that, some of that pretty harsh feedback, and just actually changing the pitch. And going on Shark Tank, we could see a lot of that paid off because we landed a deal and we sparked the interest of Mr. Damon John, who has been like an investor and a mentor since the show. But I think the main opportunity that it brought was getting the product known, because that was really the first opportunity on national TV. Before that, we were in maybe around 26 stores in Texas. And what Shark Tank allowed us to do is get more coverage, which then turned into people reaching out to the store saying, hey, why don't you have this product? I want to carry it in my store.
I know you probably over the course of your 10-year journey with this business done a lot of cool, amazing things, but I have to imagine that meeting President Barack Obama has got to be somewhere at the top of the list. So explain how it is that you two wound up collaborating together and what happened.
So yes, meeting Barack Obama or Mr. Barack Obama is definitely at the top of the list, as well as Miss Michelle Obama. And that came about actually first with connecting with Miss Michelle through her Let's Move. So she founded the Kids State Dinner, which is where kids can come up with recipes and submit them to the White House. And so even though I didn't have a recipe, her team reached out to my family and invited me to go and hear the speakers, try some of the recipes that the White House chef made. And that was crazy. Like getting an email from her team inviting me to go out was amazing. And then I think it was a surprise visit from President Obama. And so we shook hands, and I thought that would be like my White House experience, but I got invited back again in the next year for the White House Easter egg roll. And that was right after we had gone on Shark Tank, after we finished changing the name. And so we were able to launch the new brand change at the White House to 3,500 families. And that was amazing. And I thought that those would have been my White House experiences. And the United States of Women actually changed my speaking engagement at their conference from doing a workshop to introducing the president. They called and said, hey, we'd like to change your engagement. I think you'd be the perfect person to introduce the president. And so that was the most recent. That was right before his term ended. And he actually said, like, I'll be on the job market in a couple of months, so I hope she is hiring, which is pretty cool. And we did a FaceTime.
So when you think about those numbers, and especially, where you started from an actual lemonade stand to the volume of business you're doing now, what are some of your feelings? Are you proud of yourself? Like, how do you absorb all this success?
What I've done to absorb the success is just keep going and try to be creative and come up with new ways that I can either save the bees or inspire people through the business or through the nonprofit or through public speaking. So it's kind of just adding things to my story. That's what this book has become. And it's a new way, because I've been doing this for 10 years. It's kind of long, but by adding things, it keeps me interested and it gives me a bunch of new ways to reach the people who I would love to connect with.
Do you ever feel burnt out sometimes?
Yes, sometimes. I think, I'm not even gonna say no. I'm always like there are times when I am about to do have an amazing interview or like an awesome presentation, and I'm just like, man, I did 3 of these, or I didn't prepare enough for this. I don't know if I'm ready. So from those instances, I've learned what like burns me out the most, and I'm able to, I guess, like learn from those. I think one of the main things is like listening to one of my favorite songs before an interview or presentation, and that always gets me in the mood. But also I've realized that I really enjoy learning, whether it's from people who I'm talking to, or it's like a cool new fact that I can say in a presentation or in my book. And so as long as I can keep on learning, which honestly you can never know anything, so I'm always going to be learning, then it always keeps me interested.